It's time. It is time. A very particular set of circumstances has arisen that means that it is time for Jose Mourinho to come back to Stamford Bridge. I cannot believe that I am saying these words, but I truly believe that there is only one man who can save us now, and that man is Jose Mourinho. We need him back. It is the last dance, the Chelsea edition. Look, Mourinho is Chelsea. Mourinho is undoubtedly Chelsea's greatest ever manager. Mourinho is undoubtedly the most skilled person to have ever sat in the home dugout at Stamford Bridge. He broke my heart when he went to Tottenham, but that does not mean that he is not still Chelsea. He is Chelsea. He embraces Chelsea. He embodies Chelsea. And everything that we need, our whole identity, is interwoven into the fabric that is Jose Mourinho. He is our saviour. And I cannot believe that it is 2023 and I am saying these words, but I truly do believe that he is the right man to come to Stamford Bridge and get us out of this crisis, this mire that we are currently languishing in. What cannot be debated with regard to Jose Mourinho is his talent. You cannot deny that he is still a top-tier manager, and you cannot deny that he still has that special quality. There is a huge moment in the arsenal of Jose Mourinho still. I honestly do believe that. You also cannot deny that his affiliation and his love affair with Chelsea fans, and I also think it's fair to say that nobody would deny the fact that we need him. This is now desperate. We are in a crisis. We are on our knees. And Chelsea has not been this disjointed. Chelsea have not been this bad for over 30 years. That's how bad it's got. And I feel like at the moment there seems to be some sort of generosity sweeping through the narrative around Graham Potter. People are feeling sorry for him. We're reading some press excerpts that he's been very unlucky and having some personal issues. And it all seems to be tailored to making Graham Potter both the victim and to creating a situation that is conducive to Graham Potter getting more time at Chelsea. But that is completely and utterly the wrong decision. And it is a decision that is based upon preserving the ego of a billionaire. Billionaires, venture capitalists, I don't think they are famed for acknowledging when they get something wrong. And Todd Boehly, Egg Barley, they have got this wrong. And they need to admit it. There's nothing wrong with holding your hands up and admitting that you got this wrong. But don't try and spin a situation that creates a narrative that Potter needs more time, because he is so clearly out of his depth. Do you know what? We can analyse quite how out of his depth he is in just one 90-minute period. You know, there are thousands of examples where Graham Potter has made terrible decisions at Chelsea. But let's just use the one 90-minute period against Tottenham and ask some questions. We'll use it as a little bit of a case study. So, Chelsea were playing Tottenham in a must-win game against our biggest rival, and it is totally unacceptable to lose to Tottenham. Losing is not an option when Chelsea go to White Hart Lane. Far worse teams than this Chelsea team have beaten far better teams than this Tottenham team. So go there and win, as virtually all of your predecessors have done. But what do? You go there with two of the best wing-backs in the Premier League available, and you don't play them as wing-backs. You play a back four. So you've got Reece James and Ben Chilwell available, but you opt into a back four. That doesn't make any sense. The best wing-backs in the game. The dream ticket. A platform that has launched Chelsea to silverware, and you choose to play a back four with the two best wing-backs in the team. Mykhailo Mudryk, another example. In the Tottenham game, we're desperate. We have to win. We're 2-0 down. He gets 7 minutes. Look, I've seen nothing in Mudryk to suggest that he is the man to change that game. But somebody has. We spent an awful lot of money on him. He was compared to Hazard when we signed him. Dario Serna has been waxing lyrical about him. He is our mercurial, unpredictable talent that will drive Chelsea to victories. So give him more than 7 minutes, Graham. I mean, come on. This is just so obvious and so basic. We need a goal. We're at Tottenham. We desperately need something out of the game. We bring on an anchor man. Dennis Zakaria comes on. We're losing. He's going to change the game, is he? Chelsea are going to win the game by bringing on Dennis Zakaria. Tactical issues. Mason Mount. Geezer is about my height. Actually, that's very snide to Mason Mount. He's, 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", whatever it is. Why is he marking... Why would somebody that size be marking Eric Dyer at a corner? Eric Dyer, whatever you think of him, I don't think he's a very good player, but he gets his loaf of bread on an awful lot. Got a very big loaf of bread and a very active loaf of bread when set pieces are being taken. So why is Mason Mount marking him? Off the back of that decision, Harry Kane scores. It makes no sense. And these issues are actually leading to a crisis of identity at Chelsea. That's where we are now. Chelsea are genuinely in a crisis of identity. I don't think people are furious. Losing has been unacceptable at Chelsea for 25 years. Losing to Tottenham has been unacceptable for 35 years. And yet I feel like there is this malaise, this acquiescence to our current play. People aren't furious. People aren't desperate. People aren't screaming from the rafters the way that we were when Rafael Benitez was our manager. When Benitez was our manager, we made the world hear it that he was not welcome. He was not wanted and everybody knew it. We made sure that Benitez heard it. Look up the footage on this very platform of Rafael Benitez walking across the pitch at Brentford at halftime. Listen. I can actually hear my own voice in that clip. Just listen to the reception that is given. Listen to the passion in the Chelsea fans talking to Rafael Benitez. He has managed to change the culture. We aren't like that at the moment. We aren't venomous towards him. We are broken. He has managed to break our spirits. And something desperately needs to change because it hasn't been this bad for over 30 years. Think about where we are at the moment. No side has scored fewer goals in the Premier League since the start of November than Chelsea. We have scored 6. We've scored the same amount as Everton, who are in the relegation zone. West Ham United have scored double the amount of goals that Chelsea have scored. So Jose, we need you. And the history of Chelsea is conducive to believing that this will work. Everything that we know about Chelsea, everything that has been established in Chelsea in the modern era would suggest that this will work. History has taught us that when we replace a struggling manager, it almost definitely works and invariably leads to silverware being won. Just think about countless examples. Gus Hiddink. Gus Hiddink came in, he replaced Scolari in 2009. We could have won the league that year. I remember going to Tottenham. It was Modric, I think. That stopped us competing, but there was a chance that we were going to win the league under Hiddink. In the end, we finished 3rd and we won an FA Cup. It was a good season off the back of a terrible start under Luis Felipe Scolari. So it worked. Our most glorious season ever. 2012. There is a picture on my bedroom of me in the stadium in Munich. I look at it every day, wistfully. In that season, it went so wrong. Andre Villas-Boas was our manager. It was terrible, pitiful. He was alienated in the big players. There was a huge disparity between the fans and the manager and the players and the manager. It was all going wrong. One swift, decisive action. Roberto Di Matteo comes in. Chelsea embark on our most glorious season ever. People seem to forget that not only that year did we win the Champions League, we went to Munich and we beat Munich in Munich. But we also had the little matter of winning the FA Cup at Wembley, Ramirez against Liverpool, beautiful. Knocking out Tottenham from the same competition in the semi-final. Making these decisive moments work. And obviously, more recently than any of the examples I've used, Thomas Tuchel came in, Frank Lampard went out, and Chelsea won yet another European Cup. Sadly, the FA Cup was a little beyond us that year, but we won yet another European Cup. So there is track record, there is proof, there is history to suggest that this can work. And the only reason not to make the move now is because you truly believe that Graham Potter is the man. And you cannot believe that unless you are insane. Just think about it. Think about what Graham Potter is currently doing. He's currently talking about Mikel Arteta, talking about how Mikel Arteta struggled at Arsenal, but he's now led them to the top of the league. Incomparable. Incomparable. Mikel Arteta won an FA Cup in his first season, and therefore he earned the time. He earned the time. He was also integral to Manchester City and what was going on there. His track record was better. I think Mikel Arteta could have potentially been sacked. At times, I thought he should have been sacked. But I can also understand why he was given time. He won silverware in a very impressive way, beating Chelsea in a final, Man City in a semi-final. It's impressive. There is nothing impressive about Graham Potter. And it seems like there could be some genuine possibility that this will happen. The Standard has reported that there is a world in which this could happen. And the wonderful Andy Brassel, who is my go-to source for all conversation around European football, he's also suggested that there is a world where Jose Mourinho is the next Chelsea manager. The odds are shortening on Potter leaving as well. So I think that this one could happen. And wouldn't it be fun? Let us remember that Jose Mourinho has delivered some of the best days that Chelsea fans have ever witnessed. Events at the Reebok will live with us forever. He is undoubtedly our best ever manager. And the fact that Antonio Cassano believes that Mourinho is desperate to get back to the Premier League and would actually ignore Inter Milan if that job were to become available, I'm beginning to think it could happen. And I'm so in favour of it. It would be so much fun. Would it end in tears, as it has done in previous occasions? Potentially. But would it be an incredible ride? Would it be fun? And crucially, would we win silverware? I believe the answer is yes to all of the above. Chelsea's season is still salvageable. There is a world where we knock Borussia Dortmund out of the European Cup at home. If we make a decisive move on our manager before that fixture, Chelsea could be on our way to Istanbul. Wouldn't it be amazing? Please keep your fingers crossed that this one happens. Apparently there is some murmurings that it could be true, and I am over the moon at the prospect. Please let this happen, and let us put Graham Potter on the ash heap of history at Stamford Bridge. Let us confine this period to nothing more than a terrible experiment and a bad nightmare. Jose, we need you. Please return. Thank you to all of you for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I would love it if you would consider joining this community. Please click the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this video as well, please give it a like. It does massively help me out. And I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section below. Hope you've had a wonderful day. See you in a bit. Cheers.